Hi Poopsies, it's me Tony Bomboni. Welcome back to your ASMR session. So before this begins, I'd appreciate if you could subscribe and tap the bell. Just takes a quick second if you'd like to show your appreciation for this channel. I post 5 times a week, and the best thing of all is subscribing is free. So I guess that's why most people do it, right? But if you would also like to support this channel in other ways, help keep the lights on, I do offer my services on TonyBomboni.com, and you can use those coupon codes in the corner and book any of my services that I'm doing in this video, like tarot reading, coffee cup reading, and candle wax bowl reading sessions. Alright, so I'll be doing all 3 today. A general reading for all of you watching. Not all of this is going to be about you. Whatever resonates, because there's thousands of people watching. Obviously, not every message will pinpoint to every person watching. It's impossible, no matter how accurate you are. So I'm just doing a general reading, and whatever draws you in, and something that kind of relates. Like if I pinpoint something that really is like, ooh, he got that's happening to me, listen further, because then there's another message for you. Okay, so that's how these readings are going to go. Obviously I'm doing this just mostly for your relaxation, and maybe if you're interested to get your own personal readings, that's what my website is for. So there you go. All right, so let's begin with the tarot reading. I'm just going to do a general cross spread for 15 minutes. Each session is going to be approximately 10 to 15 minutes or so. That's about how long they're usually on my site. I do offer 30 minutes of tarot on my site as well. So you get 2 readings in that. And especially that's good for if you have numerous questions for me, then you can book the longer reading. All right, so let's begin. And again, make sure to check those coupon codes. All right, so let's see a general reading for my Poopsie subscribers. A general tarot reading for anyone watching. What do they need to know in general? Just a general reading, nothing specific, just something Spirit is trying to call you upon. Maybe focus your attention to something, okay? And you can also request any of my services, Reiki, Tarot, Coffee Cup, Candle Wax, in ASMR. I don't care. I can do it for you. It's not going to be an extra charge. I can do it. It's fine. And people always ask me what this card deck is. So I just want to confirm with you. It's Ethereal Visions Illuminated Tarot Deck by Matt Hughes. Just to confirm. So you can pause, screen grab. Okay, this is the cover. All right, it's a very, very beautiful deck of cards. So there you go. All right, let's begin the reading. Okay, some of you are having maybe some financial things are going to get better in the financial world. There's not maybe much going on right now, or not much like business opportunities and prospects for you if you're self-employed, or just in general, like if your boss usually gives you raises or bonuses and whatnot. I think that's pretty silent right now. However, I do see it coming up, okay? And this is all part of your balance. So like the healthy balance you need in your life. It's equivalent with money as well. It's equivalent with family relationships. You know, you're gonna have moments that you have good connections and friendships with people. You're gonna have moments where you have days where you make good money and days where you don't, right? No matter what profession you're in. Even if you're a doctor who makes $500,000 a year, you will have days who there's not many people to see, right? So like that's what I'm trying to say. Right now, maybe you're in a still or stagnant sort of level, but you're going to have moments in time where you are super abundant, right? So right now, just be patient and wait. It has something to do with a partner, group work, so I do see you interacting with others. Well, okay, I do want to put my cards down first before I get ahead of myself and before I show you specific cards. And I do apologize. I do read all your comments. Someone did give me some good feedback, criticism about like the fact that I wasn't showing the cards on camera very long. So I'll be sure and do that from now on. Practice makes perfect, so I can't promise like I'll do that every time. Sometimes I guess I can be forgetful, but like for example, when I show this Three of Pentacles here, I used to show it only when it zooms and then I pull it away. It's a habit because sometimes I get annoyed that I have to wait very long for the camera to focus on the card. And then when it finally focuses, I'm like, okay, I spent too much time on that. Let me pull it away. So I'm going to try to keep it up longer. And I do like when people who are tarot readers do this as well, because I do want to see what the message is for me. So I will attempt to hold it longer, even during my bookings on my website, because you pay for them. So you do, of course, have the right to see the cards I'm pulling. And I do show them the same way, but I always pull them fast. But from now on, because they go so quick, these readings, but I'll try to talk while I'm showing the card from now on, at least for longer. So just like this. So this was the first card I'm showing, Three of Pentacles. So yeah, basically what I am seeing from this is overall that even for some of you, again, this is a general reading, so I'll explain as much as I can. For some of you, it's also problems with groups. So maybe you're in a university, let's say, for example, in a classroom, and you're required to work in groups, right? Don't you normally have partners and projects? You have to at least one other person or two other people you have to present a project to the class and to the professor with, correct? And maybe you have to show, like, I'm seeing in my head, like bars and charts and graphs and like data analytics, statistical analysis of God knows what, right? Mathematics and formulas and whatnot, history and data. So let's say one partner is not so cooperative, okay? This could even be in your work. It does feel more like money, so work, but I am also seeing school, but like higher up school, like college, university, maybe even high school, because school is gonna help you make money, right? So it still has something to do with making money, right? Like you have to study to get a job to make money, right? So something like that, or at least the education will help you in your own business. So it's very frustrating when you don't have partner cooperation. And so how can you get the good grade and get ahead when someone is not cooperating in your group, and then you have to like be the camel and carry all the weight of the others, right? Like you have to carry not only your own humps of water in your back, but also others' loads. Like camels are used to like the hot desert, and bear with me, this is just what I see in my head. Okay, this is how I do readings. I'm very visual. I just see things. So that's how I kind of explain. But like that's my style, but that's what I see. Like you're carrying the other load. You notice how this person is literally the only one holding the paper, and look how clueless they look. He's like, oh, Like he's hunching his neck over, like, oh, like, wait, let me help. By cheating off you or copying off you. And this person doesn't even care. They're just looking off in the distance like, can I leave already? And you're just like, oh my God, what the heck am I going to do, right? So you're carrying not your own, but all three, right? So, and it feels clueless. It feels lost. You're like, how am I even gonna get a job with people like this in this field? Like, if everyone's like this, how am I gonna have to get along with others? How am I gonna? So basically, I won't spend too much time on that, but I think that's what some of you may be going through. And it's not, in the short term, it won't help you, but in the long term, it will. But I think sometimes you have to ease the tightness. Like, her belt is not so tight around her waist. So you have to ease the load and the pressure. Like, you know what? I'm going to take this weight off my back. Why don't you guys carry the weight as well? Pick up the slack. And sometimes you need to be more stern, but also in a way where it liberates you, okay? I guess not in a way where it hurts others' feelings necessarily, but in a way where you can just tell them, look, like, you guys need to pick up the pace, whatever that may be, okay? Work, school. Okay. Some of you could even be with family, like working on a project outside with the home, and like someone's not picking up the slack. So sometimes you just need to let go and be easier on them. And so it's like reverse psychology. When you stop scolding someone for doing something wrong, you kind of appreciate and admire what they're doing right. They start to follow your direction. You see what I'm saying? Okay. So it'll ease the load off you of having to carry the weight of everyone in the world. And you'll get what you ask for, okay? By that, you'll basically be in control. This is the Well card. You'll be in control of what you do, right? And forever. This card is pulling me back in. Notice her feet are standing on the infinite symbol. All right. And her hair is curled in sequences of Fibonacci. So it's like this is a repeating cycle in your life. So something you can manifest again and again. This sense of control over your life where you're not necessarily controlling others and their wishes, but you're guiding them in a positive light by being more positive, by being more suggestive in a more positive manner, rather than you're doing this wrong. Say, oh, I like how you're doing this right. And that kind of just wires their brain to and encourages them to keep doing things right, secretly the way you want. But hey, you're kind of like the leader in this pack. So the wolf of the pack, leader of the pack, has to kind of guide someone in a positive, encouraging light to get them ahead, right? You can't be a leader without doing those things. And you can certainly lead your group to devastation if you don't do that. So it's almost like they don't know how to do that, or they don't have the right qualities, the leadership qualities that you have. So it's best if you just do that and save the group and thus save yourself in return, right? And they won't even know what you're doing. They'll just be like, oh, wow, like this, makes the work more enjoyable. It encourages them to study more on what they're doing to help more and to be better. So there's still something here where it just may not be easy on your soul, if I'm honest. It overall still may not be something that you see yourself doing for long. So whatever you're doing now maybe is not the best thing for you long term, okay? How does that resonate with you? It almost feels like it has nothing to do with what I just said. In a similar way it does, but it doesn't really make sense to me right now. I just need to look further if I'm honest. Some cards just, they're either confirming the truth or they're just kind of there and then like a hint for other cards. But this is not really resonating with me right now. I'll probably pick up on it later. Yeah, again, teamwork makes the dream work, but there's just some, I'm sorry to say this, clueless souls around you. Who are these people you're having to deal with? It's so frustrating. It's crushing. Again, you've had to go through this before. This is in your past position. You've had to go through this before. Again, the cycle. But now it's time to break the cycle. Maybe you keep attracting the same people who are bringing you lack, disappointments, and failures. Maybe it's time to cut the cycle now. Maybe it's time to leave now. Have you thought of that? I don't think you're, again, in the 3, I don't think you're meant to interact with these people. There's 2 others around you. Yeah, they're definitely not going to make good friends, that's for sure. It's almost like people you will not hear of a year from now. But undeniably, you have to go through this because it's so weird. It's so weird what I'm saying. Here's what I'm seeing. So, basically, in the short term, this is why I said short term for this card. In the short term, it's good for you to ease the belt. Not be so tense with these people. Be positive. But in the long term, it's not good for you to be around these people. But in the short term, it's crushing you and your spirit. But in the long term, you have to buckle the belt with others. But in the short term, it's good for your soul. But in the long term, it's going to crush you. So I think you're being in a very... This is why I'm so conflicted. When I'm held back from even saying my message, there's something conflicting in your life. So, some of you, okay. So, it's a matter of knowing the people you are around, studying them before you study the work you do with each other, and before even allowing yourself to be partners with someone that does not cooperate with what you are expecting of the group. Okay? Don't just choose anyone that you think you can maybe control, and don't just choose anyone you think that are easy to work with either, because they may be the worst nightmare you're looking at down the line. So, like, some things are good for you short term, some things are good for you long term. You have to balance the opposing forces of that. Like, not everything's going to be perfect in your way. You got to sometimes say, okay, in this event, am I willing to enjoy short-term or long-term benefits, right? Let's say you move in with someone you don't necessarily like. Short-term, I'll be okay. But I won't like it long-term. It'll be bad for my soul. Short-term, I may not feel the effects of saving money, but long-term I'll be rich, right? Versus living alone, let's say, for example. Short-term, so you have to balance the equation of this. I'm almost seeing in my head like it's not even about the project It's not even about the stinking project to begin with. It's about you are the project. Your life is the project. You create it as you will. So you have to almost analyze like data, like bar charts and graphs, pros and cons, like a Venn diagram of like, is this good for me? Is this not good for me? And what are the happy mediums in between? Like a Venn diagram, those circles that kind of come together, right? So you're almost going to have to do that. Okay? Okay. Oh, that was a mouthful. I have a headache now. Sometimes we just have to come across people that really just crush our soul. Not to sound like a Debbie Downer, but you needing to go through this because it's good for you long term. Short term, wah, boo boo, we hate it. Okay, that's our human flesh screaming for help. We're a bunch of grown babies. We really are. I mean, if you think about it in a psychological aspect of the human mind and the complexity of our psyche, we are. You can bring a grown, muscular, 200-pound man to tears with just the right words. So we still have that soft shell we need to feed, right? And some people I feel like are not feeding that. Like you're hungry for more. You're hungry for a satisfaction to want, to be wanted, to be loved, to be needed, to be embraced. Even if you're with someone, it's like the approval, the acceptance aspect you're looking for. And these people in your group, these partners, are not looking the best for you because they themselves maybe are neglected of their love. How can someone give you love if they don't have it received elsewhere? You can't pour a cup that's empty into someone else's cup that's empty. How are you going to feed each other? So this goes deep. This goes deep. Wow. I mean, dang. Like sometimes I'm like, universe, can you just throw some pleasant cards just for like this video? Nope. They're like, we got to get down to business. And I'm trying to word it in like the nicest way possible, but it's like, yeah. Like, there's some serious things going through, happening, okay? And at the end, though, you hold the key, okay? So you hold the ability and the power to choose whatever you can do. Who's stopping you from connecting with and being with whoever you want? You have the choice, but study up first. Study up on the material of how people work, who people are. If it's not an ideal situation, how can you make it a better situation? Some of you, I kept saying partner, and like partner to me is more like for work or friendship or acquaintance, but like some of you is actually a partner, like a relationship that you are just dealing with the same issues. The battling of the Venn diagram of short-term, long-term. Like some of you may be wanting a child. For some of you, this is telling me that you want to, not necessarily a child, but like a future together. But it seems more like on and off. Maybe it's an open relationship you're dealing with. You're afraid that it's going to end up into an open relationship because of how things are going. Maybe things are right now not so much pan out. Maybe you fell in love during lockdown and now you realize that was just because you were desperate, because you were lonely and you were asked to stay home. You know what I'm saying? Like you're reevaluating a lot of your life right now and realizing kind of like how messed up everything is, but at the same time, like we all have human needs and we're all like wanting to be that accepted and loved, right? But sometimes it's not given to you. Like people nowadays are more, I think in my opinion, selfish, needy, and greedy than ever before. There is a lack of love in this world. There is a lack of faith. And I think just really, again, comparing, contrasting who the right people are for you are going to lead you down a better path in the long term, okay? Sorry I'm being so stern, but like, I felt like I needed to be in this reading specifically. Hopefully the other ones are more gentle. Because we need a balance, right? We need the balance that I mentioned earlier. Yeah, so this with the swords is really confirming to me that you have it in you to accomplish whatever you want. You have the magic wand. And no one can stop you. You are an unstoppable force of nature. And if someone tries to stop you, well, you know what? You know what? That's not going to work out, honey, because you went through the hardships. The light always comes through. All right, so let's do a few cards. I went way over my time with this one, but I still want to do it how I usually do in a regular format with these cards. Let's see what else is going on. Things have been topsy-turvy in your world. Things may have not been going your way, but they will. Finally, I'm getting peace. They will. Even if it means being alone, at least you'll be more conscious and aware of human interactions and needs. And not everyone is going to be in agreement with each other. And not everyone's going to feed each other the need, like pouring the cup in each other. But at the end, ultimately, and I'm really meaning like the cups, like this 10 of cups, right? Like sometimes you'll have 10 friends around you, and you can't feed all those 10 friends. So sometimes 5 gotta go away, and sometimes even 5 is too much. You gotta feed 2 people, and even that's too much, because now you have a friend who's calling you for 4 hours a day about their ex that they've broken up with it. But really, they need to talk to God about that, not you every stinking day. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you cannot feed a family of cups and then still have a full one to fund a family. Are you kidding me? People expect so much nowadays of us. It's like, honey, not to sound mean, but I'm grown. I'm a grown man. I'm a grown woman. Let me live my life. You can call me maybe once a week for 20 minutes, but that's about it. Like, I don't have time. I got a kid to feed. I got a husband to feed. I got to cook and clean. You know what I'm saying. Some of you know what I'm saying, okay? We all have that friend. So you got to sometimes look out for you, boo-boo, because ain't nobody going to take care of your kid or your husband but you. Is your friend going to come over and clean and cook for you and feed your child and put them to bed? That friend is only a friend until you hang up the phone. Do you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying. Okay, sorry to be sassy, but I just had to say it. Did that friend ever ask you, do you have bread to eat at home? Think about that. Think about that. Think about that. Okay, end of story. So sometimes you got to keep the close ones, even if your only friend is your husband and your child. Do you know what I'm saying? Do you know what I'm saying? Okay, I'm gonna stop talking. So, basically, this is really guiding me. To say enough is enough. I almost feel like crying. For some of you, you've been through it. You've ran away so many times. You've ran away so many times. Enough is enough. Put your foot down. It's okay if you lose people. Put your foot down. Enough is enough. Enough running. You know what that means. One more final outcome card, and then we'll be complete. My camera always turns off when I'm crying. I don't know why. I think maybe my camera had enough of me that it's like, girl, get to the point. Okay. Yes, beautiful. choose to stay. Some of you will choose to stay. Some of you still will choose to go. Your path is determined on your destiny. If you live in fear, you're going to run. Or would you rather stand your ground and fight? If that friend comes to your door, it's like, why don't you answer my phone anymore? Are you going to run? Or are you going to fight and say, look, let me be honest with you. Whatever scenario, I'm just giving you one example. Thank you so much. Okay, let's get on to the other reading. So I basically went half an hour with this. So there you go. You got a 2 reading basically in one. Sometimes I just do 1 reading and the spread is so detailed in my head that it goes up to half an hour. So sometimes if you book the 30-minute, you'll just get 1 reading, but it'll be super detailed. But if it goes quick, then you'll get 2 readings in that half hour. It all depends. And no client session is the same. Every session of the hundreds of clients' sessions I have done are also different, also unique. Yeah, so there you go. Let me begin. With the candle wax reading. So I picked a yellow one intuitively. All right. There we go. I see a heart. It's a huge cardiac muscle. You're giving your heart to someone strong. There's 2 friends holding hands together. Some of you still having that close bond and contact. Keep the friend close, just like the tarot said, okay? There's a thumbs up or like an A-OK, kind of like those symbols combined. This is telling me Spirit approves whatever plan you have next, whatever you're going to do next. And I smell sugar. I suddenly smell sugar. Maybe you're baking sweets or you're just being very sweet. I know God approves of that when you're being very, very good to people. Yes, you get blessed back. So now is your time to receive those blessings for being so good and so loving. Yes. Sorry, I'm going to cry. We all need more love in this world. Yeah, it's just such a beautiful reading. It touched me. Yeah. And this color is drawing me in because it's such a happy, positive. We all need more like happy, positive things. There's too much darkness around us. And I feel like you're that. I feel like you're that happy, positive light that people need now. Like I see someone holding out their hand. This looks like a priest. And they're helping someone. It's like someone's trying to stray from that help, but you keep trying to help them. And no matter what you do, they keep running away. I think it's telling me you can only help so many people. You have such a good, kind, loving heart, and you can help so many people. But it comes to a point where not everyone wants or needs your help as you may think. You have to choose who you give. Remember the cups, okay? Some of you. Oh, anything I say, just some of you, okay? It's not for everyone, just whatever vibes. But it did kind of turn into a sailboat. I'm gonna be honest, it kind of does look like a bra at the same time. Hey, maybe we went bra shopping. I don't know. Like, okay, whatever. Or some of you maybe need to get like smaller or bigger. I don't know. Like, with changes in your diet or weight gain and hormones, like, or weight loss, you sometimes got to get a change. And maybe it's like causing chest pains. Like, I'm all of a sudden feeling chest pain. Like maybe uncomfortable there in the bosom area. So for the bobs. So sometimes you need an adjustment. So maybe some of you ladies out there need an adjustment there. That's all I'm saying. But it did look like a boat kind of going away. So maybe some of you are going to go on a boat trip. And before you go, you better get that adjustment. Because you know what? Like, you're going to be uncomfortable the whole time. You know what I'm saying? So. What else am I seeing? A trio of people. Like handshake in agreement. This does remind me of that Three of Pentacles. So yeah, it's confirming like you're just going to have to stick with whoever you're working with. Like if you're assigned to partners or projects, you just got to, suck it up and do it till the end, right? Maybe you got to give a phone call. That does kind of look like a phone too. Maybe you got to give a phone call and remind them like, hey, what part of your assignment are you on? Are you going to slack or are you going to keep up the pace? This goes with whoever you're working, collaborating with. I don't care. This goes with whoever you're working with on something. This kind of looks like Shrek. You may appear strange to some people lately, but that's because that's your mission. You're not here to stay the same. You're here to change, right? We all change. We're all characters in development. We all get better over time and improve the quality of our lives. So it's natural, like a human hunger for that to strive for more and better is just innate in our cells. It's just really how things on this planet function. So as long as you can just accept that and flow, I think you will be fine. A lot of times we want to like make arguments and go against it, like, oh, I don't agree because like it causes issues in society when we're all like trying to get ahead and whatever. Like a rat race. I think there may be some conflicting thoughts in your head, like, why are we living what we're living day in and day out? It's a very much questioning societal reading, working with others, teamwork, cooperation, guidance, and also some judgment, honestly. Some days where you don't necessarily agree with each other. There may be some intolerance for some things or just lack of communication. But make sure those people answer their phone when that you call them or message them up. I almost want to say call, like message. What happened to phone calls? What happened to writing letters? Yeah, I do see like a shopping bag, so some of you may need to buy some new things. As a person maybe praying over you or praying for you. This reminds me of the Hangman in tarot. And it's kind of like upright, so it's really telling me in this moment that it's like sometimes you're afraid to put your best foot forward. There are moments where you can't necessarily stand up for yourself in fear of this judgment of what others will think of me. Am I too feisty? Am I going against the grain? But you are the grain. We all are. Whether you go against the grain or not, you're still the grain. You're still ingrained in the soil amongst the rest of us, right? And that's hard to admit, but humanity, I mean, we really are. I mean, if you think about it. Don't take me the wrong way. We really are trapped here. Do you know what I'm saying? That's all I'm going to say about it. But kind of just accept, again, just acceptance of like, this is it. This is how things are. I can make the best of it. And there's nothing else I can do. That's all. In this moment. The more you fight against something, the more resistance there is. So, like, you can't necessarily fight your way through this. You just kind of have to exist. We're shifting consciousness to this exist mentality. So, rather than going against and overachieving in every aspect of life, now people are getting more tired and fatigued and health issues because they're trying too much. The new spiritual consciousness doesn't try too much. It is. It stands still and lives. How can you stand still and live and accept what is? Even if you resist it, your resistance is only in your mind. You're too much in the brain. What's in your heart instead? Does your heart feel as if something is right? And if not, why? Are you too much back in your head? Or is it because someone reminds you of someone you don't like from your past? Or is it you just want someone to argue with? Or is it just because you are afraid of being bored, of not having something to argue with? Right? Humanity tends to find certain reasons, and this is not everyone, of course. I'm not saying humanity as a whole, but humanity meaning like at one point in our lives or another, we all have come across a point where we want to do something because we are never satisfied. Okay, that's what I mean. I'm not saying everyone as a whole at all times. That's not the case at all. So maybe this is your moment for some of you where you happen to be unsatisfied. And it could be a case of wanting to change things. But is it because of your own needs or is it because of humanity as a whole? Sometimes we just want to change things because of our own needs and forget about everyone else. Maybe it's a good change for other people. Maybe other people don't know a better change. Maybe you can come up with an idea for a better change. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, very important message today. Very, very societal based. Final reading is the coffee cup reading. All right, let's see. Sometimes I like to read the plate before I move on. What is this trying to tell me? Oh my gosh, it's like a boxing glove, like, but he's like punching something. Someone is really pushing through for victory. This is more like a victory win, not out of anger. There's going to be some victorious accomplishment in what you're looking for. There's going to be a win. I see in my head like August. So in August, something victorious will occur. Maybe unexpected, like out of the blue. It reminds me of a whale jumping out of the water. Like really like all at once. Oh my god. It might freak some people out. It might excite some people, but it's a glorious win. Something's brewing though. Something is brewing. Something is brewing. Something is coming. I made up a little song in that moment. Something is brewing. Something is coming. All right, let's see. As I suspected. Well, let's see the rest of the plate if I happen to see. It's like a goddess holding up a pillar. It's like a headless Statue of Liberty. It's like an omen for something. I think it does have to do with change. This looks like someone just took a bite out of the moon and left it there to rust. And in that moon is that statue. I think it will take a bite out of your emotions, is what it's trying to say. Maybe even your freedom. So, for the mass majority of you, I keep seeing this in every reading. Yeah, for this, it's specifically August. I think it's set in stone August. This final thing, this final event. This spiritual awakening, consciousness shift, this reality, this realization, this everything gets exposed, everything gets blown out of proportion, everything gets shined upon, everything gets frowned upon. It's like a cluster F of a hot mess and a beautiful thing in one. August. This looks like a baby pig with a hat on. It's like someone young and experienced trying to accomplish big things. It's like the hat is way too big for its head, so it's like someone's still in the early stages and not aware of what's going on. I don't think this is you. I think it's someone near you. Maybe they're getting too ahead of themselves and trying to portray themselves as something they're not. Could be someone you're dating. See 2 pillars here. So it looks like a portal opening between these 2 pillars. Uh-oh. Something's been brewing for a while. I just feel the need to say, uh-oh. Like, oh, that's all. I don't know what it is, but it's like, uh-oh. Steps, but these steps are far. It's like you're trying to climb these steps, but they're far. Again, that kind of young, inexperienced feeling. You may be feeling maybe unsatisfied, maybe a little low self-esteem, like not able to get ahead. You will. It's like the beginning steps, it's so opposite. Like, the beginning steps are harder, they're more wide and spaced out, and the steps at the top are narrow and thin. But keep in mind, the steps at the top are too narrow and thin. It's just as hard to climb steps that are too tightly packed together. It's like rock climbing. And they get steeper and steeper than climbing steps that are way broad apart. Like, you know. So you're going to go, I think this is telling me that you're going to go through challenges either way, but it'll make you more agile, more stronger, and able to get through anything and overcome. I think you're trying to really be saved from everything that's going on. I mean, this looks like this just foreign creature. I don't know what I'm seeing, but every time I look at it, it doesn't look anything like I've ever seen. It's definitely another dimensional thing, but we're definitely going to tap into some of that starting, and I mean starting like pretty soon. Like, the effects of it are going to start, like, if not already. I mean, this is, oh my gosh, it's already June 16th, so yeah, we're already starting to see actually the effects and the impacts, but for sure physically see by like June 30, July 1st, like that time, this awakening thing going in through all the way to, oh my, end of September. Okay. But definitely all of August is going to be like the roasted, fiery, I mean, everything. Like, everything you've ever heard of is going to be packed into all of that month. Anything that's been going on, you're going to hear all of that, allegedly, in August. And more. Way more. So, yeah, I always say these readings are entertainment purposes only. Coffee cup does have sometimes a little bit of a twisted side to it. I'm going to put my finger thumb and see what I see. Oh my goodness. The 2 pillars again. Yeah. It's like it literally opens a vessel for others to come through in other dimensions. Wow. And I see it like a link of 3. There's a triangle here. Big corners. It's like a communicative portal. Remember I said triangle was communication. I don't know if you remember one of my videos. I did a meditation. What I see in meditation, see that? The triangle. But there's a missing link here. Notice how these are connected. These are connected. But this and this is not connected. There's a breakage here. And there's that lady again, that creepy looking creature lady that I see actually right here. Looks like something from a dark Nickelodeon show late at night or something, like Rugrats. That makes the creepiest character in SpongeBob to Rugrats combined. I don't know what it is. It looks very weird. And it's more of a spiritual being. It's not maybe something you can see. Maybe some of you will be able to, but it's like there's something that cuts the communication and connection off. The triangle I saw, that foreign planet in meditation, allegedly, that I was shooed away from. It was like a very green planet. Like green, but not green, like lush green. It had no life. It's just more like stones and rocks and imagine Mars, but green. And it had like brown clouds, like kind of like that. So I think it's like really a portal, like a communicative vessel to come through and communicate. This goes very spiritual. So again, you're not going to be able to see or tap into unless you see and tap into. And even then it's questionable. If you hear that, that's probably birds on the gutters. The blue jays love to hop there. And that's telling me from spirit, like, that's a confirmation. I'm not saying much else, but it's going to be a very, like, as soon as this year started, I felt like you just started seeing or experiencing strange stuff. Like, I'm talking like psychedelic, like strange stuff, right? Mysterious and mostly peaceful, if I'm honest. This isn't something like bad, but it's mostly like, whoa, what the heck was that? What did I just experience and encounter? All right, so it's that type of thing that are going to be tapped into. So nothing to fear. It's just more of a manner of, you will only fear if you choose fear, right? Like, no matter what you see, if you choose fear, you're screwed. Like, if you're just like, okay, cool, then they can't do anything. They can't harm out of love. They can't harm you out of love. Like, if you're living in fear, you're always going to be very much in deep trouble, right? So that's that. Thank you guys so much for enjoying, hopefully. I don't know about enjoying at this point, but you know what? If it just gave you the peace of mind knowing that there's something maybe that confirm what anything you may be experiencing in this reality, this wacky world. Yes, so thank you so much, and I will see you guys in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.